Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the stream, a random stream. We're trying to do more of them. We got plenty to talk about. There's been some rumors that now UFC 273, which is in March, will be Alexander Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie and Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. So now we don't have a main event for UFC 272, which, hold on, wait, I might have mixed it up. It was originally in March at UFC 272, was those two. They were moved to UFC 273, not official yet, or I would have made a video on it, but I figured we could talk about it in the stream and see what you guys think. And I also put a poll out on the channel that I will get to in a second. But supposedly, so originally, Alexander Volkanovski versus Petr Yan was supposed to be on UFC 272, March, whatever it was. And now it's looking like both those are going to be moved to UFC 273, which is in April. And now I think it's Ariel Helwani reporting it that it looks like for UFC 272, which is the original date that Volkanovski versus Holloway were supposed to do, it's going to be a non-title main event, which there's only quite a few options. We're going to get to my poll in a second. If you guys have any questions, we can talk about whatever on this stream. I really don't care. I just try to get on here whenever I can, whenever I have some extra time. And I try to mix up the timings so people maybe who can't join some of the streams can join some of the other ones. Appreciate you guys jumping in here, just having no idea that this stream is planned and just jumping on here. What's up, Homework? Nothing like an MMA Joey stream. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed these streams. Yeah, I'd mixed it up originally when I was talking. So 272 was originally in March, supposed to be Volkanovski versus Korean Zombie. Co-main event, Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling, unifying the bantamweight belts. Those are supposedly being moved to 273 in April, and now we do not have a main event for 272. I'm all mixed up right now because so much, it's been announced, and then it's been revoked, and then now it's changing, and it's weird, and supposedly it's not going to be a title fight. So that's why I kind of wanted to do this stream. I did a poll on the channel, which I'm about to read to you here in a minute. But appreciate you always joining the stream, Homework. Appreciate you, my friend. Let me pull up this poll I had because I really only believe there's a couple options. And we've already got quite a few votes. So I'm going to get to that in a second. I thought UFC. Okay, yo, what's up, Fast? Hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for coming to the stream. I love that the Korean Zombie's getting a shot. This is his last and final shot. He has a puncher's chance. I'm not going to say I'm not happy because I love the Korean Zombie. I'm happy to see him get a title shot. I think he has a chance, but I think it's a very small chance. But what sucks for me is there's just so many fights I'd rather see. I'd rather see Volkanovski versus Giga if Giga does in fact win against Calvin Kattar this Saturday. I kind of want to see that trilogy between him and Max and kind of settle. There's so much controversy surrounding those first two fights. So it kind of sucks. But I get it. I understand being happy for I almost said Tony Ferguson, for Korean Zombie. But for me, I just feel like Volkanovski is definitely going to win. By the way, guys, it is January 10th, 2022. We have 1,936 subscribers. So we are 64 subscribers away from 2,000. That is insane to me. I think we're going to get there this week. 2,000 subscribers in the next week by the 17th. I think it's going to happen for sure. Maybe even the next couple days. Now, sometimes I put out a video and it just, for some reason, just pops off for whatever reason. So, let's see. How much do you think Tony has left? I think a lot of people are writing off Tony. And you got to look at the level of competition that he's fighting. I mean, there's a lot of people who would have lost to those same opponents. Justin Gaethje is world class, and then you have Charles Oliveira, the current champion. The Beneil Dariush is one win away from a title shot. So everyone that he's lost to is in title contention right now. So people are burying Tony Ferguson. The guy is lost to everyone who's in title contention. Now, we can talk about how they were dominant losses. He was absolutely bludgeoned to death by Justin Gaethje, but he almost finished Gaethje in that first round. Let's not forget about that uppercut where if the bell wouldn't have sounded, he would have probably been able to finish Justin Gaethje, if not by ground and pound, by submission maybe. I think Tony Ferguson still has some winnable fights left. We've kind of gone over them in the past. The lightweight division is a tough division, really. You look at the lightweight division. I think that Tony Ferguson could beat Dustin Poirier. I think he loses to Charles. He's never beaten Charles Oliveira. Okay, I'll just tell you that right now. Tony Ferguson, sad as it is to say, he's not beating Charles Oliveira. I think he has a chance to beat Dustin, but I think he loses to Dustin. I think he loses to Justin. I think he, I think he loses to Beneil. Obviously, he already fought Beneil and lost. That's his last fight. I think he loses to Islam Makhachev. I mean, yeah, he ain't beating Islam. Islam's going to take him down, hold him down, control him. And that's always been Tony's weakness, and he's just never evolved past that. He can beat Michael Chandler. A lot of people are saying there's no way he beats Michael Chandler. He can beat Michael Chandler. I think he beats RDA. I think he beats Dan Hooker. I think he probably beats Conor, but Conor has a chance. And he loses to Gregory Gillespie. He loses to Rafael Fiziev. And I think I'm not gonna speculate on the Gamrot fight. Gamrot's still a bit of an unknown. But I think he can beat plenty of guys within the top 10. I honestly believe that. We'll see. I hope the UFC gives him a big fight next. Tony Ferguson on his last leg. Stop it. I think he still has some winnable fights left. We got to figure out who's main event that card. If non-title, there are only a few people who could do that. Exactly. That's kind of what I wanted to do this stream about. Who's the main event of UFC 272? Now, I put out a poll on the channel. It's got a decent amount of votes. It's only been out for a half hour. I believe, and I want you guys to let me know what other options do you think are possible for a non-title headliner for UFC 272? Because that's the speculation right now. I came up with a couple possible options. Jones making his heavyweight debut against anyone. Maybe Jones Stipe, just to throw out an option. Jorge Masvidal versus Colby Covington. I believe the UFC could probably main event a card with that. Jorge Masvidal has become a star just from throwing a flying knee, even though he's on a 2-fight losing streak. Colby's on a 1-fight winning streak, lost 2 of the last 3 of his fights. I think that could still headline. Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier. I feel like that is most likely. And then Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. So, guys, let me know in the chat, in case you didn't already vote in the poll. If you voted in the poll, it doesn't matter. But let me know in the chat, which of those options do you think would you like to see most? So, the answers are Jones at heavyweight, Jorge Masvidal versus Colby Covington, Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier, Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. So, let me know, which of those do you want to see the most? Currently, what has the most votes is Jorge Masvidal versus Colby Covington at 39% of the vote. Not a crazy amount of votes yet, just because of the time. It's only been out for a short period of time. But which one of those fights would you want to see? And is there any other options that I'm missing that could be a headliner for that March card? I just think Conor McGregor's not going to be ready at that point in time. Conor's not going to be ready till late spring, summer, fall, somewhere around there. I just don't believe he's going to be headlining the card in March after breaking his leg in last July. So let me know in the chat which one you guys would like to see. And also, is there any options that I'm missing? Let's see. Giga is too green for the title, but if he beats Calvin Kattar, he deserves it, in my opinion. Korean Zombie made real easy work of Calvin Kattar. Did they fight before? Did they? I don't remember. I'm forgetting that quick, and I just did a prediction video for it. Did they fight? No, they never fought, did they? Yeah, they never fought, unless I'm missing it. Yeah. Korean Zombie never fought Calvin Kattar. So, I don't know what that means. Does anyone care about Kevin Holland moving down to welterweight after seeing getting destroyed back to back to back? I really don't care. I don't think it's super compelling. Kevin Holland moving to welterweight isn't super compelling, but I really enjoy the Cowboy Oliveira fight they came up with, and I think that fight will be very, very exciting. Perfect timing. YouTube is dead right now. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you, man. I'm glad you will be enjoying the live stream. Who do you got, RDA or Fiziev? Probably Fiziev, but I think people are underestimating RDA quite a bit. Jorge versus Nate, 2 unfinished business. That's not one I want to see. Jorge Masvidal versus Nate Diaz, I have no desire to see that rematch. I really have no desire to see that rematch. Jorge was working him over. Nate was not going to come back in that fight. He was getting the crap beat out of him. It's one of those things. Jorge Masvidal is insanely overrated. What's crazy, and I've talked about this on the channel before, and you guys will have to let me know if I'm crazy or not, is Jorge Masvidal, before the Ben Askren win, used to be criminally underrated. Let me repeat that in case you didn't hear me. Jorge Masvidal used to be criminally underrated. Nobody gave him any respect. I thought he was a potential title contender. But once he knocked out Darren Till, and then, I think I can attribute it to more to this, and then he flying knee KO'd Ben Askren, that was what blew him up, and he got massively overrated. And now Jorge Masvidal is very overrated. I agree with you 100%. But up until that Ben Askren KO, he was unrated as hell. So, let me know what you guys think. Masvidal versus Covington. So, it looks like the chat is kind of mirroring the poll right now. Goat, Joey, I'm 16 with a 9:30 bedtime, just checking in. I like the stream as well. Stretcher O'Malley. Appreciate you, Goat, man. Now get to bed. You still got 8 minutes. I don't know what time zone you're in, but you still got 8 minutes. Shavkat is fighting the dude that was in Dana White looking for a fight video where he beat Khabib's boy who's on a win streak. When is that fight? I know they announced it. Is it February? I can't remember now. But I know they announced Shavkat versus somebody. He's got a lot of hype to live up to, honestly. This guy, a lot of people are on him, and he doesn't have a lot of fights. Let's see. Carlston Harris, 2-5-22. So we're a month away from Shavkat Rakhmonov. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name. I got to look that one up. Month away from him fighting again. Nate Diaz has no business fighting anymore. He'll never reach the top at this point in his career. I wouldn't say he has no business fighting, though. I mean, he's still competitive. I still think, he has legitimate talent. I think he can beat some decent guys. I'm not going to say he's gonna make a run for a title, but I believe you can still compete and not be competing for a title. Clay Guida is kind of an example of that. I would love to see Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. Honestly, I would love to see that fight. Would absolutely love that one. Let me X out of some of these tabs that I have. I don't need that. But I think Nate Diaz still has, a few years, maybe 2-3 years left of fighting before it's time to say, he's competing with some great guys. Stop it, Goat. I just saw that. Khamzat versus McGregor at 170. Do you know what Khamzat Chimaev would do to Conor McGregor? He would absolutely maul that man. Conor McGregor stands absolutely no chance against Khamzat Chimaev. Mark my words, he would ragdoll him and beat the living crap out of Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor and the UFC would never make that fight. They would never put McGregor against Khamzat, no matter what the angle of promotion was. It would be a huge fight, don't get me wrong. But McGregor would get absolutely wrecked. They would never make that. But I like that idea. Jorge Masvidal is a forever jobber if he had to fight some real wrestle fuggers. What does that even mean, man? I think he can be competitive with a lot of guys. He was competitive in the second fight with Usman. He knocked out Ben Askren, Jorge Masvidal was able to get to the top, but not able to capture a belt. I still think he was one of the best welterweights. And I think had he defeated Damian Maia way back when, it was a number one contender fight to fight Woodley, I would have picked Jorge Masvidal to beat Tyron Woodley. So, wrong place, wrong time. Lost to Damian Maia was a little bit of a controversial decision. But, it is what it is. February is a stacked month for upcoming fighters. Who else is on there? I'm forgetting. There's been so much announcement lately. Let me know some of the other guys who are fighting February. I gotta look into it. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. We got Shavkat. Who else is fighting in February? Can't think off the top of my head. Did you see Misha versus Lauren Murphy at 125? Yes, I did. I actually sent this in the members only Discord and literally said, does anybody care about this fight? Does anybody care about this fight? Nobody does. Nobody. I mean, Miesha Tate. I mean, that. Who does she fight? Ketlin Vieira. That Miesha Tate versus Ketlin Vieira fight was some of the most atrocious fighting that I've ever seen it's just was disgusting. Was absolutely disgusting. And she looked like she was playing with puppets the whole time. The movement was terrible. The striking was god awful. The fight was just terrible, 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 terrible. No desire to ever see Miesha Tate fight again. She doesn't. She really shouldn't even. She should go fight for another promotion. The only reason people care is because she fought Ronda Rousey a couple times. That's why people care about her. I'm pulling up future events real quick. Let's see what we got. I got to check out the UFC schedule. So we got Giga Chikadze versus Calvin Kattar. Then we got Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane. Then starting in February, we got Hermanson versus Strickland. Let's see what's on that card. Let's see who we got. I hate how the card's all disorganized, even this close. Brian Battle versus Therese Gore. That was the original Ultimate Fighter ending. Wasn't it supposed to be that? So Shavkat versus Carlston Harris is on there. Sam Halvey again. Alexis Davis is still fighting? You got Tim Means versus Jeremiah Wells on that same card. That Sean Strickland versus Jack Hermanson card is sneaky good with up-and-coming talent. There you go, right there. That's the card. That's the card to watch for right there. February 5th. So February 12th, we got Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker 2. Really pumped for that one. Super excited. Let's see who else is on that card because I can't remember. They've moved so much stuff around. Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson. Vince Pichel versus Marco Madsen. Derek Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa. Kyler Phillips versus Marcelo Rojo. Alexander Hernandez versus Renato Moicano. Roxanne Modafferi versus Casey O'Neill. Carlos Uberg versus Fabio Charent. That's a decent card. Alex Perez versus Matt Schnell for the 86th time it's been booked. And also Nasrat versus Bobby Green is on that card. So that's not a bad card at all. Wish they'd add a little bit to it. Let's see what's on February 19th. That's Dos Anjos versus Fiziev. Kyle Dawkins versus Julian Marquez. That's a good fight. Alexander Romanov versus Ilir Latifi. Johnny Walker versus Jamal Hill, which is an amazing light heavyweight fight. We got a lot of great fights coming up. They're not like huge, ginormous, from a perspective of like selling pay-per-views or anything like that. But there is a lot of great fights coming up. So the next card's Beneil Dariush versus Islam Makhachev. Makhmed Muradov versus Misha Sakurnov is in the co-main, apparently, if this doesn't change. Ryan Spann versus Ion Cutelaba, like that quite a bit. Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Marcin Tybura, I don't really care. Ignacio Bahamondes versus Zhu Rong. I'll just be interesting to see Bahamondes return after that crazy KO if he hasn't already. Terrence McKinney versus Fares Ziem, I think is how you say it. I'm excited for that fight. Terrence McKinney has looked really impressive, and I'm curious to see how he does. Let's go a little bit further out. Okay, yep, the next one's UFC 272, which is kind of up in the air right this moment. That's on the 5th of March. Right now it's showing Edson Barboza versus Bryce Mitchell. Marina Rodriguez versus Yan Xiaonan. Jalen Turner versus Jamie Malarkey. And Kevin Holland versus Alex Oliveira. But supposedly that Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling fight and Alexander Volkanovski fight are moving down the line. So there's a lot of interesting fights to look forward to. For me right now, and I know it's probably just because it's so close, I am so excited for Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane. I'm really excited to do my prediction video on that one. I think that'll be an interesting one to break down. If you guys haven't checked out my prediction video for Giga Chikadze versus Calvin Kattar, after this video, make sure you guys go check it out, all right? I appreciate you if you do. Let me look at something real quick. Yeah, check it out after this stream. It's the last video on my channel. I thought it was, but just wanted to make sure. Always try to do some of those prediction videos in 4K. Let's see what we got. Masvidal versus Covington. Oops, I thought Calvin. Okay, read that. Bilal's a joke. He's calling out Hamzat again when he's fight supposedly in the works. I doubt he would have even taken that fight anyway. You doubt Bilal would have took that fight? I think Bilal would have took that fight for sure. And I respect him for I know people don't really like Bilal, and people are saying Oh, Bilal thinks he deserves more than he does because he's calling for a title shot after beating 2 old men. But he sees Hamzat and he sees the hype Hamzat has, and he wants to take that from Hamzat for himself. And I respect him calling it out. And I would like the Hamzat versus Bilal fight, you know. And we say the fight is targeted for Hamzat versus Gilbert Burns, but you never know. The UFC could change their mind. They change their mind a million times over. So I respect it, but I get what you're saying. If he does have a fight booked, it's kind of annoying. I like Bilal. Well, there you go. Cayman Rider right there. Bilal's #1 fan. Jorge Masvidal could never defeat Damian Maia. George grappling is objectively weak. People don't exploit it anymore. I think it's gotten better, though. I think it's improved. It's always going to be his weakness, but I think it's ever improving. I help someone make money by advising him to pick Bilal. That's awesome, man. I was totally off the mark on my Bilal Wonderboy Thompson card. Jack Hermanson versus Sean Strickland. I'm not all that excited for that to be a main event, but still a good fight. Great grappler versus grappler matchup, though. I like to view it for show. Yeah, most boring fighter on the UFC roster. Most boring fighter on the UFC roster. Who is so boring that I can't stand it? I don't know. Off the top of my head. Anybody else? I feel like I've answered this question before, and now I can't think of it. Who is the most boring fighter on the UFC roster? Who is always in boring fights, it seems like? I'm trying to think. I have the rankings in front of me, but that doesn't tell me anything because they don't necessarily have to be in the rankings. I'm just seeing if anyone jogs a memory right now. I will say, and this is hard. This is hard to choose without really looking through a lot of fighters who are outside. Holly Holm is always so boring. Holly Holm is never an exciting fight. At least it seems like. So there you go. Holly Holm is the most boring fighter on the UFC roster as it stands right now. Let me know, guys. Put in the chat, who do you think is the most boring fighter in the UFC? Because there's probably some I'm not thinking of. Diaz versus Ferguson. I'm really hoping. So back to the UFC 272 topic. Ariel Helwani, I believe it is saying that UFC 272 is going to get a non-title main event. I would love for it to be Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. I think this is an amazing fight. I think, this is the fight I've been calling for on my channel basically since I started the channel. Could you imagine even just the press conference would be hilarious? The stylistic matchup would be so fan-friendly. Both guys are pressure fighters. Both guys have unlimited stamina. Both guys have great submission and jiu-jitsu. There's nothing to not love about this fight. Both guys are decent strikers. Both guys are constantly getting cut up and landing crazy, strikes. Tony Ferguson's always like flowing, doing Imanari rolls and shit like that. I would love to see Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz. And if that headlines a card, I can support that and I can buy that and hopefully put some money in their pockets and a little bit in the UFC's as well. Or put most of it's going to go in the UFC's pocket, a little bit in their pockets. But I would get behind a Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson fight. I absolutely love that matchup. I've been calling for it for quite a while. Would Amanda Nunes weighing 145 be top 15 for the men's 125 division? I will say no. Robert Whittaker will beat the anime boy. We'll see. Derek Lewis. Oh, I just lost my spot that quick. Derek Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa is going to be wild while it lasts. Agreed 100%. Going to be insane. I want to see if Blood Diamond is good. He debuts at 271. He's Izzy Friend. I feel like it's always these guys getting hyped up because they train with a certain guy and they never end up being as good as people speculate. I got Whittaker in the rematch. I don't think that's unreasonable. I think Whittaker can pull off the win in that rematch against Israel Adesanya. Didn't Tanner Bozer get robbed versus Latifi? I don't remember that one, honestly. Tai Tuivasa's style is exactly the style you need to be to beat in the Black Beast highlight reel. Oh, to be in the Black Beast highlight reel, if I'm being honest. I'm picking the Black Beast to knock out Tai Tuivasa. I picked Tai Tuivasa. Lewis is just weird sometimes. We'll see. Hamzat will TKO by Usman. We'll get the TKO over Usman. Okay. I think it's possible. Very possible. Hamzat versus Burns. Colby versus Masvidal. Luque versus Leon. Brady versus Bilal. Chaos versus Magny. Wonderboy versus Leach. Fights to make at 170. I believe. Let me actually pull this up real quick, Sean. Let me pull up my channel real quick because, as you know, I made a welterweight matchmaker. I don't remember all the matchups that I made, but I'm going to go check right now. So, let's see. Why is it showing that? Twice. So, let's see. Welterweight matchmaker. Videos. It was fairly recent. Welterweight matchmaker, welterweight matchmaker, welterweight matchmaker. Okay, here it is. Hey, what's up, guys? Well, let's leave this out of the way. I'm looking. I had Khamzat versus Gilbert Burns. Let's see. I had Wonderboy versus Magny. It's going to be too hard to go through the entire thing. But I like a lot of those matchups. Stuff has changed. I think Leon probably fights Usman. I think Luque could fight maybe Brady and below. I don't know, man. There's so many great matchups in the welterweight division right now. Who is the worst commentator working right now? That is a tough question. Because overall, I like Joe Rogan, DC, and John Anik as a combo. But I feel like these last 2 or 3 years, I feel like DC has started to annoy me. I feel like Rogan doesn't care as much about the fights anymore. I used to hate Dan Hardy, and I actually like Dan Hardy. It's nothing against him. He used to always say the corniest shit while watching the fights. If I had to pick my least favorite, I don't particularly love anyone's commentary. If I had to say who do I not mind the least, I'd probably say I like John Anik. He doesn't really bother me. I do enjoy Paul Felder's commentary. You guys will have to let me know who's the worst UFC commentator. Sometimes I feel like, don't get me wrong, I like it, the excitement, but sometimes I feel like DC and Rogan just scream, oh, nonstop. And it's like, I don't even care to hear that. I wish there was an option to turn off commentary and just listen to the sounds of the fight in the crowd. But right off the top of my head, I can't think of who I dislike the most. I don't really hate any one of them. He's not really one that I can say, pick out and say, I really don't like this guy on commentary. But I used to not really like Dan Hardy on commentary. Not because he wasn't a good commentator, but just because of the corny jokes, constantly corny jokes over and over and over, saying the dumbest stuff all the time, and it was so infuriating to me. So guys, put in the chat who's the worst commentator for the UFC right now, because maybe there's someone I'm not thinking of. Aspen Ladd, I'm assuming that's the most boring fighter you're talking about. Damian Maia's fights were always boring. Not all of them. Islam, in my opinion, I'm not a fan of point strikers. You know who I'll say one of the most boring fighters right now, and I hate to say this because I used to love watching him? Wonderboy Thompson. Every fight, he's either not letting his hands go on the feet or he's getting taken down and held down. CKB seems to have a lot of those. CKB. For some reason, my mind's not putting it together. What fight would be more wild than Gaethje versus Chandler? What fight would be more wild? All right, I'll call it right now. Yuri Prohaska versus Jon Jones would be bananas. Absolute bananas. But maybe not as slug it out crazy, but I think it would be pretty wild. Aspen Ladd is very boring. You're right. Yeah, she was clucking in her last fight. Is Tony Nate confirmed? No, it is not confirmed. We are talking about UFC 272. Supposedly, it's being reported that it's not going to have a titled fight as the main event. So we're speculating about what could potentially be that main event. And I came up with the idea Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. I think that's very possible. So no, it's not confirmed. What do you think about this bet between Tai Tuivasa versus Derek Lewis? If Tuivasa wins, Lewis has to do a shoey of Tai's shoe. But if Lewis wins, Tuivasa has to do a shoey out of Derek's cup. That would be hilarious, but I don't know. Hey, what I missed? Nothing too much. Nothing too much. I don't even remember. By the time I get halfway in these streams, I'm not even sure what we talked about at this point. We are 64 subscribers away from 2,000. So if anyone in here is not subscribed, go subscribe right this very second and make sure you turn on notifications. Also, guys, do me a favor. You're in here. make sure to like the stream. It helps push it out to more people, and then in turn, more people can find the stream, and then more people might like what's going on in here, and they can subscribe to the channel. So if you can do me a favor, go down below and click the like button. But we really talked about Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson so far. We talked about Korean Zombie getting the shot, and most boring fighter, most terrible commentator. There's been quite a few. I like Paul Felder as well. What about Mike Goldberg? Mike Goldberg got a lot of shit. And when he was gone, I truly missed him. I miss Mike Goldberg, honestly. So I think that was the golden age, was Joe Rogan and Mike Goldberg. Worst commentator in terms of bias is DC. You know, DC is something else. You know, you can clearly see the bias just reeking off of him. But for me, that doesn't even bother me. Like, I know he's biased, but it's just a constant. I mean, I know we all do it. Like, even when I'm doing my live stream, again, I'm not a commentator by any means. But, oh, that's the only thing of substance they'll say. And then I feel like there'll be something going on within the fight, and they're just totally missing it. Like for example, like I said, Joe Rogan, I feel like his heart isn't in it anymore. And I've actually talked about this on the channel before. Some of you guys will remember. Sometimes I feel like they come in with a preconceived narrative, and no matter what their eyes are telling them, they cannot venture from that narrative they thought coming in. For example, Joe Rogan in the Jan Blachowicz versus Israel Adesanya fight, he acted like Adesanya was winning the whole fight. What was he looking at? And he knows MMA clearly. So I don't get that. Jimmy Smith, I actually like Jimmy Smith. I was sad when the UFC brought him in for a little bit and then let him go. Don't like Bisbing, but not for UFC related reasons. I feel like a lot of the UK guys, you know, I don't remember their exact names, but I feel like they're very biased towards UK fighters. How disgusting would it be if Misha Tate got a title shot with a win against Murphy? It will happen. You better already accept that. It's crazy to me how we think almost the same when it comes to MMA. That's wild, man. That's wild. And I forgot who else told me this. Maybe it was French fries or something. He said, sometimes I'll say something and he's already thinking that in his head when it comes to like MMA and stuff like that. And that's just wild to me. I'm glad that I can be that, you know, I'm giving you my honest. It's not like I know what some of you guys think, but I'm just giving you my honest opinion. And it's weird if our opinions exactly align. It's just wild. Because I know how it used to be, for me at least, when I used to try to watch some MMA YouTube comment. Let's see what that was. Mirrodin Heights, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Everything goes back into the channel. Greatly appreciate it. But, you know, when I used to watch MMA content, and I used to be like, why aren't they saying this? Why aren't they talking about that? They're not mentioning this, or why are they saying... So if I can be the guy who's saying the things that you are thinking for other people to hear, I know that's awesome, and I'm glad that, you know, even if it's not exactly the same, I'm glad I can be that guy for you. I love when Anik always has the iconic statements. Francis Ngannou can finally call himself greatest heavyweight in the world. Yeah, I mean, John Anik does say some good iconic stuff. Sometimes he'd be saying some cheesy shit too. You know, and I know that's just how commentating is, but sometimes he'll say the weirdest shit or the cheesiest stuff. Like, I remember when Dustin Poirier finishes Conor. I can't remember if it was the second or third fight, but he's like, Lafayette, Louisiana, stand up. And I just feel like that shit's kind of cheesy. And I have nothing against it. I like John Anik quite a bit, but I just feel like it's kind of corny. But I guess what else is he going to say? But there is some iconic calls for John Anik when there's a finishing of an important fight. And I love that. DC and Rogan have fake reaction because they know the camera is on them. It wouldn't surprise me, man. They're just over the top sometimes. And it's just, I don't know, man. There's a lot. It's sad because Rogan was my favorite commentator for a long time. And to me, he's just, you know, it's not like I really dislike his commentary. But for me, it's like he's partially checked out. You know, sometimes I feel like he's distracted, not even saying what, you know, sometimes he'll really harp on something. Other times he completely misses something. So it's weird. And I know it's not an easy job. They're doing it live. So it's not like I'm making videos out there, you know, critiquing these guys, because I probably couldn't do any better than they're doing, especially watching in real time. But I'm just giving you my thoughts as you're asking me. So, you know, I don't want, you know, you guys to consider, oh, I'm going out of my way to criticize these guys, because I know they got a hard job. Do you think Tony would or could have defeated Khabib? I said this long before Tony lost to anyone, whether it be Beneil Dariush, Justin Gaethje, or Charles Oliveira. I said this long before. Did not have a channel at this point, but said this long before. I knew what was going to happen in that Tony Ferguson-Khabib fight. I am at peace knowing that we'll never see it, even though it kind of sucks that it was scheduled so many times and never happened. Khabib Nurmagomedov would have ragdolled Tony and beat the living crap out of him with ferocious ground and pound, and it would have took years off of Tony's life, and maybe eventually Khabib would have got a submission. I don't think that would have happened. I think Tony would have survived, but I'm at peace never seeing that fight. Tony Ferguson had no chance. He can't stuff takedowns from Danny Castillo, even in, closer to his prime. Can't stuff takedowns from anyone. Khabib's got the best takedowns in the game. He's not stuffing those. Do you think TJ versus Aldo would sell a pay-per-view? No. Maybe down the card, co-main event, featured fight, but not as a main event. Would not sell a pay-per-view. But I don't care. Let the UFC do it. I love that fight. What do you think will be UFC 273 main event? I'm guessing Usman versus Leon. So you probably missed the beginning of the chat, but it looks like, according to Ariel Helwani, the UFC 273 main event is going to be Volkanovski versus Korean Zombie, not 272 anymore, 273 in April. And then the co-main is going to be Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. So the two title fights they announced for 272 last week are now supposedly moving to 273. So the main event is probably going to be Volkanovski versus Korean Zombie. But if Giga wins this Saturday and wins impressively, I think Giga could slide in there instead of Korean Zombie. So I hope that answers your question. I think Usman versus Leon will probably happen over the summer, it seems like now. But maybe they'll keep Volkanovski versus Korean Zombie on 272 and do Usman versus Leon on 273. But I think Usman's injured, so we could be waiting a little bit. What do you think? Do you like Big John McCarthy as a commentator? It's funny you asked that. Again, I'm not saying I can do a better job than these guys. I know a lot of people, get their butt hurt when you start criticizing people. I think Big John McCarthy is awful at commentary. And that's just my personal opinion. There's a lot of people that like him. I don't like watching his commentary. It's not enjoyable for me. I feel like it's uncomfortable. I feel like it's awkward, and I do not enjoy it. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like Big John McCarthy as a commentator? I don't like him as a commentator or an interviewer. His podcast is okay, but it's extremely Bellator biased. But for me, Big John McCarthy, I feel like he comes off with this, and I've said this expression, and this is just something I don't like, that some people just have this air about them. I'm the smartest guy in the room. Nobody knows any better than me. And Big John McCarthy gives off that vibe as a commentator and as an interviewer. And I feel like he's uncomfortable. I feel like he's uncomfortably awkward in his commentary and interviews. You guys let me know. What do you think of Big John McCarthy as a commentator for Bellator? I thought Diaz was fighting Poirier. I think that's also likely. That could be the potential matchup. I had a couple potential matchups we talked about earlier in the video. Since there's more people in here now, I asked this question again. I will ask this question again. I want you guys to type in the chat. I don't care if you're not looking at your phone or whatever right now. You got me playing in the background. Do me a favor. Go type in the chat right now. Which of these potential main events for 272 would you enjoy the most? Jones making his heavyweight debut versus any heavyweight, maybe Stipe Miocic. Jorge Masvidal versus Colby Covington. Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier. Or Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. Right now, in my poll that I did in the community tab on the channel, it's Jorge Masvidal versus Colby Covington with 40% of the vote. Let me know in the chat, which one of those would you like to be the main event of UFC 272? By the way, Mirrodin Heights, thank you again for your donation, my friend. I greatly appreciate it. Yes, sometimes in chat, I'll say something that then before you see my comment, you have already mentioned it, reading my mind. I know it's weird, and when I see those, I'm scrolling down. So it's like, when I'm even talking, it's not like I'm scrolling down reading every comment. I can't keep my focus. Sometimes I'll read like the next comment, but it's weird how I'll be talking about something. And also we're delayed a little bit. I'm probably talking 10 seconds before your actual chat's popping up anyway. And it's weird that I'll read something in the chat exactly what I said already. We have similar opinions and you're not biased. Yeah, I know everybody, including myself, has a certain level of bias. But I try not to let bias get in the way of anything. I admit when I don't like a certain fighter, but I feel like I'm still an honest assessment of their skill sets, and I don't let it affect my predictions. You know, I absolutely love Tony Ferguson. I can't stand Conor McGregor. I said it before. I favor Tony Ferguson in that fight, but I think Conor could stop him very, very early. But if Conor doesn't stop him early, he's in for some big trouble. And that's my honest assessment of the fight. It's not because I like or dislike Tony. It's not because I like or dislike Conor. So I try to be incredibly unbiased. And even, you know, in my recent videos where I criticized Khabib Nurmagomedov and Eagle FC, I like Khabib Nurmagomedov quite a bit. But I feel like it was important for somebody to say something about that. And now that I have my own channel, it's something that I can do. So I'm happy it comes across, because obviously I don't know how I come across. I can't look at my own video unbiasedly and say, oh yeah, I really like how this came across. You know, I can do my best to articulate my opinion. And my goal with this channel is, regardless of what my opinion is, and even if you disagree with me, I want you to understand kind of how I got to my opinion. I want you guys to understand that there's logical thinking behind it, and it's not just because, oh, I don't like this guy at all. You know, it's not because of that. So I hope that it comes through on the live streams, in the videos, that I'm truly giving an honest assessment, and I'm not just, oh, I'm picking this guy because I really like him and I want him to win. No, if I pick a guy, I'll tell you, you know, if it's 50-50 and I'm just leaning this way, or if I'm confident, it's because I think they're going to win. You know, it's not because I like a certain guy, and that's why I'm picking him. I know I didn't have a channel then, so it's irrelevant, but I picked Conor McGregor to defeat Dustin Poirier in the second fight. So in January, before I had a channel, I picked Conor to defeat Dustin. I like Dustin a lot. I do not like Conor. I wanted Dustin to win, but I thought Conor was going to go out there and outstrike him, and I didn't think Dustin would initiate the grappling. So there's an example of an honest assessment. I like Joe Rogan. He has the corniest reactions ever. So fake. Dude is the epitome of a cornball. Dude, I can't stand cornballs. I can't stand cornballs. And I know exactly what you mean. I feel like it's very forced, and it just doesn't come off right to me anymore. Only thing I hate about Jon Anik is that he follows a script quite a bit. Yeah, he does. And he does say some cheesy stuff, you know, when it comes to, you know, what am I going to say here? When ending of fights, I just kind of mentioned one with Dustin Poirier. You know, so, okay. What's up, Keep Out? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Thank you for joining the live stream. Opinion on Mark Madsen. He has a fight coming up, doesn't he? Didn't I just read that? Mark Madsen. I don't think he's ever going to be elite world class. Let me see his recent fight. I remember his recent fight. Wasn't it all that not excited? He's just a guy that wants to go out and kind of take you down and hold you down. Okay, a split decision win over Clay Guida in August of last year. I mean, I think, let me see when his fight is. So he has a fight against Vince Pichel February 12th. Okay, I thought so. I'm actually on that. No, I'm not. I'm on Jack Hermanson versus, what's his name? I think he beats Vince Pichel. I think he out-wrestles Vince Pichel. I don't think he's ever going to be the elite of the elite within the division at welterweight. Or is it welterweight or is it lightweight? It's lightweight, isn't it? Yeah, it's lightweight. Yep. I think he used to fight at welterweight, or maybe I'm confused. Yeah, he did used to fight at welterweight. Okay, I know it wasn't crazy. I don't think he'll ever make it to the top of the welterweight or the lightweight division, but I think he's got some decent skills, and who knows? Maybe he can be the next GSP. He has a relatively kind of boring, you know, grind him out style, but if he can perfect it and get good enough striking, but right now I feel like he hasn't fought the level of competition where you can really tell. But for me right now, I'm not super high on him. Let's see. Okay, I don't need that. Why do I get this pop up here? Like, there's certain things he has to mention every fight, even if it doesn't make sense from what's going on. Does anybody remember when he said these two guys are both going through custody battles? Does anyone remember that? If you can invite any UFC fighter for an interview, who would it be? That is a good one. So who would be the best interview? The best interview, most, by best interview, I mean most interesting, from my point of view. That's a good question, my friend. I'm not sure. Maybe Jon Jones, but just for the sake of the channel, if you can invite any fighter, any UFC fighter, and they're going to come on the stream, Sean O'Malley, just for sake of the channel. I would invite Sean O'Malley on. So there you go. Jon Jones, if for the most interesting interview, but Sean O'Malley for the fun of the channel. Can anyone who would have defeated Khabib at lightweight? Charles Oliveira, and I was saying that before Charles Oliveira was the champion. I thought he was the toughest matchup for him. I would have even liked to see Brian Ortega at lightweight fight Khabib. What's up, T-Block? These two are dealing with custody battles. Exactly. Did you put that in there before I said that out loud, or no? Did you put that in there after I said that out loud? Where did you see that 272 total fights might move to 273? Ariel Helwani has been saying that. Or reporting it. I've seen it on Twitter, but it's from Ariel Helwani directly. I know that for a fact. Otherwise, I wouldn't even mention it. I don't be looking at these weird Instagrams that are posted just throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. Obviously, it's not 100% official, but Ariel seems to have a good track record of reporting good news. And he said that's what the UFC is leaning towards, so I'm assuming he has a decent source. So there you go. What do you think about CM Punk as a comment? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Big John helps new fans learn about the sport. I like him. Okay. Fair enough. What did Usman tell his fans to go kill themselves? Supposedly he was talking about someone just specifically, and it came off he worded it wrong, like he was talking about everyone. But it is strange nonetheless. Diaz versus Poirier. Yeah, I mean, I like that fight quite a bit as well. Okay, this is everyone answering my question. I'm catching up in the chat right now. Colby versus Masvidal. That's what seemed like a lot of people were asking. Jones versus Stipe, then Colby versus Masvidal, then no Nate Diaz. Nate versus Dustin. Colby going to wrestle Jorge all night. For me, I would like Tony versus Nate. And I knew that I didn't think that was going to be the most popular, but for me, that's the fight I want to see. Nate versus Dustin would love to see. Jones at heavyweight. I want to see Jones fight anyone at heavyweight. But at this point now, I'd rather just see him fight the winner of Jon Jones versus Cyril Gane. Jones, I guess they'd all be good fights. Yes, they'd all be good fights. I think Masvidal and Covington would be the main event, but Dustin Diaz could be co-main. I don't think they put. Maybe they do. Maybe they do two huge non-title co-main and main. We'll see. Jorge versus Colby or Jon Jones. If Masvidal has to destroy or KO Covington, would he get another title shot? And after that, Usman Covington close second fight. If Masvidal was to destroy and KO Covington, no, he would not get another shot. He would not get a third shot after getting KO'd in the second fight, 50-45 in the first. Masvidal with the win over Covington would not get another title shot. He would have to hope that Usman lost. You know what, Big John? Anderson said some similar to your opinions about the EFC matchups. Well, that's awesome, man. I never said I disagree with him on everything he said. He's just not for me. There's plenty of people that do a great job talking about MMA or giving their opinions, or even I agree with 99% of what they say. I still, just because I agree with someone doesn't necessarily mean I like them. You know what I mean? Like, there's no hate there. It's just not for me, you know? Me personally. Bro, you see you did it again with Sean Johnson and said it before. LOL, you read his mind. I was wondering, I didn't know if he said that because I don't, it's not like I see a timestamp of these messages. So I didn't know if he sent that right after I said it just to be funny, or I'm assuming he said it before I said it now that you say that. Have you noticed that Sean O'Malley doesn't move his mouth when he talks? That's be a weird interview. No, I have not noticed that. What's next for Kattar if he gets brutalized again? I don't know. A step back in competition, but there's not a lot of step backs in competition at featherweight. If Kattar loses, maybe he fights Dan Ige again. Didn't he fight Dan Ige once? Maybe he fights the loser of Edson Barboza versus Bryce Mitchell. That's what I think. What's okay? French fries. Ha ha ha. Crazy, I'm telling you. That is weird. That is extremely weird. I know you like Rafael Fiziev, but I think there's interesting prospects at lightweight. Is Bernie Gores. Huh. Let's see. I don't even know who that is. Are we trying? I feel like are we trying to get me to say something weird right now? Yeah, I don't know who that is, my friend. I feel like, yeah, I don't know what that's about, so I'm just going to avoid that now. What's up, Joe? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying. Our man Sarukian would get wrestled. Yeah, I don't know. Are you trying to do one of those things again? Does anybody know who this guy's talking about? Because this shit's getting old. If you're just trying to get me to say dumb shit, I don't find it funny, man. If that's what it is. If not, then okay, I don't know who that is. What's up, Joey? How long have you been seriously following the sport, and what about a video about the work Worst/quickest downfalls in MMA. That's a video. That's a very interesting video. I've thought about doing it. It seems like with the flow of news, and I meant to do it the last 4 weeks. I have had very many video ideas that I haven't had a chance to do. One of them was fighters who were never the same, like fighters who had fights who were just never the same after a certain matchup. Like, for example, you could say Cody Garbrandt. Or other ones, but maybe I will do one like that. Yeah. So maybe I will do one like that. Sorry. But yeah, that's a good idea. Quickest downfalls in MMA. Whew, Johnny Hendricks would be a good one. That dude's losing in bare knuckle boxing now. Giga. He currently fights in K1. I'll have to look it up. Sage Northcutt, #1. Darren Till is the biggest overrated fighter. Very overrated. Darren Till was so overrated, and I knew that from the very beginning. Biggest fall is Big Rig post USADA, and his body started to change significantly too. And it just all comes back to, if anyone remembers when George St. Pierre, was asking for additional testing when he fought Johnny Hendricks. There was a reason he was asking for that. Barrow's one, JDS is one. There's quite a few, but maybe I'll do that video very soon. Maybe I'll pop that idea for tomorrow, and maybe I'll see if I can record a video of fight. I need to think of a good title. I'm trying to think of a title for it. It's hard to kind of articulate it in one sentence. Fighters who were never the same after, something. That's the thing. You got to think of a video from all the different perspectives. If I can't title it well, regardless of how good the video is, if people can't tell what it's about through the title, then it's not worth making a video about, because no one's going to watch it. So I got to think of a good title. Reyes was never the same after he thought he beat Jones. There is a Jon Jones curse. I thought about making that video before. Look at the Jon Jones curse. After fighting Jon Jones, look what happens to guys. They fall off a cliff. Even Thiago Santos, he had a terrible stretch afterwards. Gustafsson had a terrible stretch afterwards. Reyes has a terrible stretch afterwards. I think there's a fighting Jon Jones curse. Once DJ sparked him, he was never the same. It's because Johnny started eating the fries. Chuck as well. Do you think Jon Jones gets knocked out if he moves to heavyweight? He's definitely moving to heavyweight, and I think it's very possible that he gets knocked out, especially against Francis Ngannou. But I think he can also win those fights as well. I think Jon Jones can be successful at heavyweight, but everything is kind of going against him right now. You look, he's been off almost 2 years. By the time he fights, he'll be well past 2 years. And, it's one of those things where moving up to heavyweight, he might be a lot slower, There's a lot of factors going into his heavyweight debut, and if he comes in, he's probably going to be fighting for the title in his first heavyweight fight. So he's not going to be fighting a kind of tune-up fight per se. Lesnar beat Couture, then lost to everyone. Yeah, but Lesnar was just so much bigger than Couture, and they had a similar skill set. I wasn't even a fan at the time. But did I answer your question about how long have you been seriously following the sport? I've been seriously following the sport since about 2010, hardcore fan since about 2010. So I'm on like my 11th year, If it wasn't 2010, then it was 2011, but I'm pretty sure it was 2010. I became a hardcore fan. They were never the same again. Yeah, but I'm not sure if that does it. I got to think of a title. Usually I'm pretty good at thinking of titles, but I can't. Right now off the top of my head, it's hard for me to think of a title. Holy crap, we've already been on here for almost an hour. That is absolutely insane to me. Guys, if anyone in here wants to become a member of the channel and support the channel, we got loyalty badges. We got custom emojis. You can use the Sleepy Conor McGregor emoji and the Hamzat emoji. Also, a couple live streams a month will be available for replay only to members only. Only to members only. And it's just a way to support the channel. And I post the behind the scenes stuff. And also, now we have a members only Discord. So here, I'll actually post a link in the chat if anyone wants to join, but it's also in the description. So I want to make sure this link works. So I'm going to check it my actual self right now. Because sometimes, so if you guys want to support the channel, it's only a couple bucks. It really doesn't cost very much. I post the link is in the description, but now I also post the link down here. But now I added as an extra benefit, a couple of these random live streams per month after the fact will be for replay of members only. And in the future, a long way away, I'm going to do members only live streams. I'm still going to do other live streams if you're not a member, so don't worry about it if you're not, you know. But it's just an extra benefit. So if you guys want to become a member, the link is in the description. I would greatly appreciate it. And I still try to respond to like 95% of my comments, 90% probably. It's hard to, you know, I'm getting a lot of comments nowadays, so it's hard to respond. Why does the link never show up? I wonder why. I have settings. Let me see. Let me check it out real quick. Customization, details maybe. Let's see. There should be, it should allow me. Thank you, Lee H, for subscribing. Appreciate you, my friend. I wonder why. It should allow me to post a link. I see people posting links all the time. But yeah, we got a members only Discord. I'm posting a bunch in there, talking about a bunch of different things. So, you know, it's just a way to support the channel if you want to join. Anyone that and by the way, thank you guys for posting all those emojis. Thank you, French Fries. I think you're coming up on 6 months of membership, man. One of the first members. Greatly appreciate you. Constantly growing. Thank you for joining the other day. I hope you enjoy. You know, I'm always trying to add benefits. I'm always trying to post members only community stuff of just what I'm working on and give you guys some extra information. And it's awesome. You guys are supporting the channel in that way. But even if you're not a member, I greatly appreciate you coming to the streams. Watching the videos. That's, you know, you're helping support the channel. We're going to get to 2,000 subscribers very, very soon. Let me actually pull something up. If anybody is in here who's not subscribed, go subscribe to the channel, my friend. We are at what shows up on my channel 1.94 right now, but I'll tell you exactly how many we're at. I don't know if we gained any since we started. We did gain a couple subscribers since we started this stream. We are at 1,938 subscribers. I can actually put it up for a little bit if you guys want to see it. There you go. Let's see. There you go. Right there. There you go. The subscriber count is in the corner now. It's insane to me. It's insane to me. It just updated to 1938. I don't know. I'm going to have to check that setting about it should allow me to post links. It should allow me to post links, but I don't know why it won't allow me to post links. Let's see. Ooh, I might have found it. URL live chat or already chat. If you use lecture shop and new comments with hashtag and URLs will be held for review. Yeah, apparently it automatically blocks links, but I'm surprised that it doesn't allow me to send links. So it doesn't matter. Either way, it doesn't matter. Okay. Cancel. Guys, keep the questions coming. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Karushi Sakuraba was quite godlike. Wasn't a fan back then. Anyone who watched Pride back in the 2004 was impossible to not be a fan. MMA was the best back then. I've heard everyone looks back fondly on Pride, and I've seen some of the Pride fights. They were absolutely insanity. The soccer kicks, the stomps are insane. I'm going to try it out soon, brother. Yeah, once you join ours, it's not super hard to navigate. Once you kind of have the app and you navigate, you know, just our Discord, it's not super hard. So, you know, so just give it a go. I post a lot of stuff in there. Talk about all the news, you know, even some fight announcements that we don't even talk about in the live streams. We talk about in there. Killing it, man. Thank you, Wesley Howard, man. I appreciate your support very, very much. Yeah, 6 months in a few weeks. Road to 12 months soon. Yeah, I love the 12-month badge. I'm going to have to get a 24-month badge soon. Get it made. You know, luckily I got some time. Yes, sir. No problem. MMA Joey to heavyweight champ. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let me actually, I know some people like when I post on, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. It's at MMA Joey C. I posted it down below. I'm going to post people like when I post these stories of I'm streaming. So I meant to do it earlier, actually. Let's post this story of me streaming. Let me see, make sure I got one weird up. Let me close some of these tabs. Let's see. There we go. I'm going to post this. Oh, why did I have that? Why did it get all blurry? Let's see. Streaming now. There we go. I'm posting this on Instagram. Instagram story. So if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MMA Joey C. It's also down here in this little bar. That's why I leave that bar on there for different stuff. So let's see. It looks like somebody just started following me. So thank you for following me on Instagram. It popped up as I was posting that story. Let's see what this is. How does French fries links pop up? It says, oops, something went wrong. So it didn't even work, French fries. Whatever that was. Let me come back. Apparently, April 2021, they removed live links in live chats. But I thought it was just for other people. Like, I wouldn't want other people to be able to post links in here. I can see that link, French fries. I wouldn't want other people to post links, but for me or moderators, I wouldn't mind it. You got a switch, Joey? No, I do not. I do not have a switch. Is that Daniel Cormier in the back with the USA flag? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, my friend. A guy named MMA Bobblehead makes bobbleheads and sells them of certain MMA fighters, and the boxes are even better. Are even better than the bobbleheads almost. Look at that. Look at that sweet box they made. So this is the box that it came in. It's really high quality too, if you can kind of hear it. You know, this thing is nice. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, the box art is just insane. So, and then the bobbleheads down below. Look. There's the, all the bobbleheads that I have are autographs. So this is Daniel Cormier's autograph right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's on the blue thing right here. You see, but look at the bobblehead itself. It looks really nice. Come on, focus on the bobblehead. I'll just put it back here so you can see it. So, there you go. I also got Nick Diaz autograph bobblehead, Jorge Masvidal autograph bobblehead, and Demetrius Johnson autograph bobblehead. They're coming out with a, well, he is coming out with a Dustin Poirier bobblehead soon. So you'll see an autographed Dustin Poirier bobblehead in the background soon. Why Usman or Khabib and every major star when speaking about Jones are a bit serious and say he's the man? I don't know. I haven't really noticed that. I don't know. Maybe they just, I don't know. Believe me, I don't know. But I feel like a lot of fighters talk shit about him. But maybe they just don't want the backlash of, you know, Jones coming after them, because Jones goes after a lot of guys. Which, I mean, and also Jones is just the easiest target ever. You know, look at all the dumb shit he does. I hate unsocial media. What's unsocial media? I hate Facebook. I will never get on Facebook ever. I don't care for anything, for MMA or anything. Facebook is the worst platform out there. And, you know, it used to be fun back in the day where it used to be like chronological order. It was people, what they were posting live. But now it's just a bunch of nonsense videos and stuff like that. I don't like it at all. That link that you posted before does not work at all. It just takes you, oops, something went wrong. So, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what went on there? It says moderators can do links. Does this one work? Let's see. Nope, says that something went wrong as well. I wonder why it won't let me post links in my own live stream. That's weird. The link work. Maybe it's because I'm logged into my YouTube account, so it can't take me to join my YouTube membership because it's my YouTube account. Maybe that's what went wrong there. So, let's see. Did you see that Charles Oliveira would move up or down to try to become double champ? Yes, I did see it. It's very interesting. I wonder how he would do against Usman. Because as much as I say Usman's too big for him, I've talked about it recently, that try a different one. That if you can keep it standing against Usman, you have a good chance. And I don't know if Usman's going to want to take down, Charles Oliveira. I'm going to try it from a different YouTube account real quick. I'm going to try it from my personal YouTube account. Not that I don't post videos on there, but I have my own YouTube account before I started a YouTube channel. So let me go find my live stream. Oh, there we are. We're live. Hopefully the audio is off. Okay, yes it is. Let's see. Yeah, it just took me to a video. That's weird. Yeah, it just took me to my prediction video from earlier. This is wild. But either way, no big deal. We'll figure it out. I'm not going to waste any more time on it, but I'm sure it seems like it works for some people. Yeah, I know you can see it. Facebook is the worst. The link worked for me. Yeah, Facebook is terrible. So it's usually a bunch of old people too, it seems like. It used to be fun, like back in like 2010 to 2012 era. I love you now. I hate Facebook too. That's hilarious. Works for me. Try a different one. I clicked the link and it took me to your video from earlier. Same here. Maybe Volk will move up to 55 or Charles to 45 in the future. I think if Charles moves down to 45, I think he probably loses to Volk. Volk is so well rounded and he's not worried about the submissions. I don't know, man. I that's a toss up for me. That's a toss up for me. Usman's base is so solid. Usman's stand up has improved significantly. It's improved significantly, but it's still not good enough to outstrike certain guys. So right now, I would pick Usman over Charles Oliveira. So what's weird is, let me show you. Let me pull up something real quick. French fries. But anyway, Usman is so much bigger and has so much more power. I think he would probably walk through the strikes of Charles Oliveira. Even if he was getting outstruck, he would land on Oliveira and probably put him down. So let me see. I'm going to go get a new link. Links, invite viewers to... Okay, here we go. I'm going to send you a link on Discord, French fries. See if this works. Oh, no, I almost sent that in the thing. Hold on. This is perfect. These random streams are good to test stuff out. See if that link works I just sent you. Maybe I gotta update the description. I don't know. But I think Usman just would be too big. You know, even if Oliveira is the better striker, Usman's not going to want to take him down. And then on top of that, even if Oliveira outstrikes him, I think Usman can just probably walk through him. And then, you know, I don't know, man. That's a tough fight to pick, but my gut says Usman would win. He's got that newly found power. There you go. I see. What's up, Ginge, by the way? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's supposed to be a video. Okay, I see. Can Alexander Volkanovski become lightweight champion? Who can he defeat in the top 10 at lightweight? I think yes. The answer to that question is yes. Can he become lightweight champion? I think he could beat Charles Oliveira. I think he loses to Gaethje. I think he loses to Poirier. I think he beats Beneil. I think he loses to Islam. I think he beats Chandler. So there you go. It's weird because I could totally see Volkanovski defeating Charles Oliveira, but there's a lot of other guys that Charles Oliveira would beat that I don't think Volkanovski would beat. It's supposed to be a video. How long do you see Charles Oliveira being champ? I like him and he seems like a good guy, but I can see him being stopped soon. If he gets by Gaethje, I think he loses his belt next year. He beats Gaethje, then Islam, then maybe loses next year to some other contender that we don't know yet. Maybe a Rafael Fiziev. But I could see him losing to Justin Gaethje. And I've been a big Charles Oliveira fan. I'll probably even pick him in that fight, not because I'm a fan of him, but just because of his skill set. But I could, he leaves himself very exposed sometimes in the striking. And Justin Gaethje is the most powerful guy that I think he's fought. And you keep getting clipped, eventually you're going to get put to sleep eventually. I know it's in the title, but I do Leon versus Luque and Edwards interim belt in March. Diaz and Poirier is a big fight, but no one really cares enough to buy. I think people will buy a Nate versus Poirier fight, much more than a Luque Edwards fight. But I wouldn't mind give us both of those fights. I wonder why that doesn't work. Let's see if this works. Yes, that link works. I wonder why the other link didn't work. That link worked for me. So if you guys want to become a member, you can click that link right there. And I guess I got to update my description. So I don't know why that link changed. It's the same place I got the link from before. Yeah, same. I'll take Usman over Oliveira. No hate. Agreed. Okay, read that. That would be sick. What's up, homie? What's up, Darren? Hope you're doing well. I know. Okay. Also, yeah, again, Luke Edwards, I don't think sells very much at all. The closer it gets, the more I think Leon stands a chance if he can defend the takedowns and keep it standing. I've been saying anyone that can keep it standing against Usman can win the fight. I think Leon has a legit chance, but I think Usman's eventually going to out-grapple him anyway. Out of all the fights you think would headline 272, what fight do you think will sell the most pay-per-views? Most pay-per-views for 272 is probably Jon Jones making his heavyweight debut. Let's say against Stipe Miocic, or Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal, which I don't think they're going to do. And then third, I would say Masvidal versus Covington would sell pay-per-views. So to answer your question, of likely fights, Jones versus Stipe, then Nate Diaz versus Poirier or Jorge, and then Jorge versus Colby, if that answers your question. Why would you take Poirier over Volkanovski? I think Poirier is well-rounded, and I think he'd just be too big for Volk. I just don't see where Volk can exploit him. Volk is a very high fight IQ fighter, but he's not this amazing elite grappler that has these lightning fast submissions, so that's Dustin's weakness. I don't think Volk's going to put him to sleep. I think Dustin's too big for that. I don't think Volk can bully him, and maybe Volk can outpoint him, but I don't think that's a highly likely scenario either. But I'm not super confident either way. You have to admit they fought before, and Leon's grappling had to improve from them. Yeah, and he didn't get dominated too badly, but the question is, how much did Usman's grappling improve in that? You know what I mean? Usman's grappling could have improved leaps and bounds. Jon Jones for Man of the Year. What the hell are we even talking about here? Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at the rankings right now. So Brandon Moreno already has a fight. Aljamain Sterling already has a fight. Volkanovski already has a fight. Oliveira's probably fighting on that Brazil card. But maybe on 272, they could do Oliveira versus Gaethje. I doubt it. I think that's too quick of a turnaround for Oliveira, but it's not too bad. And then for the Brazil card at UFC 274 could be Glover versus Yuri. So that's an option. Usman versus Leon. I mean, I don't know. Usman's injured. Usman was super active last year, and he just fought in November. I don't know. A 3-month turnaround to another fight. Your 4-month turnaround, it would be a 3-month turnaround because it's early March. So you have all of December, all of January, all of February. So 3 to 4 month turnaround with no time off. I don't think Usman, especially considering how active he's been, I don't think the UFC would force him into that possibility. I think that Usman's kind of off the table. Adesanya, I guess if he starches Robert Whittaker and then Cannonier versus Brunson winner, because I think that could be an option. If Adesanya starches Whittaker, gets out unscathed, he could fight the Jared Cannonier, Derek Brunson winner on that March card. But back-to-back pay-per-views, I find that highly unlikely. But it's happened before. Deiveson Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno. No. Yeah, Deiveson Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno both fought on a previous card. I think it was 254, and then fought each other on 255. So it was back-to-back pay-per-views for them. So it's a possibility. Glover Teixeira Yuri, I don't think is going to happen for that card, especially in Vegas. I don't know if that's going to be a big seller in Vegas. And none of these female fights right now I feel like can headline a card if they want to do any selling, really sell a pay-per-view. Let's see. The thing is, I don't think Leon has changed much because only had that one fight against Nate, and that wasn't even that impressive. I think it's hard to gauge, because he could have came in that fight, thinking that it was an easy fight. He did batter Nate and he got rocked at the end, so people kind of forget about what happened in that fight. But also about his grappling, I don't think we've really seen it tested really too much since that fight. So I think his grappling could still be much improved. And if he can keep the fight standing, he could sleep Usman. Even though he doesn't have knockout power, I just think Usman, his time is coming. And if Leon Edwards lands a nasty head kick that wraps around the back of the skull, again, I'm probably picking Usman in that fight, but I'm just trying to kind of give you guys an expectation of Leon's chances. I think Leon has a good chance, I think Leon has a good chance. I think it's a solid 30%. 30%, I'll say. Physique. Let's do actual poll. Who are you guys picking? Let's see a poll. Who will win? Leon Edwards, Kamaru. I have a feeling this one's going to be a very lopsided poll. So go vote in that poll real quick. I think Usman's grappling got slightly worse. He's been focused on strike. It's hard to say. Besides top 5, is 185 the deadest division? I think heavyweight is more dead. I mean, I don't really care about anyone at heavyweight other than Francis Ngannou and Cyril Gane and Jon Jones, who isn't even there yet. So I think heavyweight's dead as hell. But I guess because of the dominance of Adesanya, you might be right though. But you kind of have Sean Strickland kind of lingering out there. You have Andre Muniz. You have Nasruddin Imavov. You might be. I mean, middleweight's a close second to heavyweight. But after Whitaker, it's looking bleak. You're very right there. Let's see. Almost everyone's picking Usman in the poll. Women's 135 is dead as can be. Besides top 5 is yep. They can put Jose versus TJ on the Brazil card as well if they needed. That'd be amazing. Joey, did you notice that Moreno had Gano in the second fight against Figgy? No, I did not see that. I'll have to go back and watch that. Nunes versus Pena 2 should target that Brazil card as well. Nunes versus that. There's an option right there. There's an option for that Brazil card. B2B pay-per-views. What does that mean? Imagine Conor gets a title shot and that card is nuts. Oh my God. If he gets a title shot, I'm going to throw up from disgust. I really have a feeling that Leon going to take it. He has way more to prove than Usman. I mean, eventually these guys just don't get motivated anymore. So we'll see. We'll see. Usman's looked unbeatable as of recently. I know people, people think that Colby came close, but I thought he pretty much got dominated. I know he had some moments within the fight, but I think at some point when you're just constantly winning, eventually you buy into your own hype, and it's easy to, kind of fall off a cliff or not have that desire to train anymore. I really have a feeling Leon going to take it. He has okay. I already read that. Women's 135 is dead. Agreed. Who have leave behind a better legacy? UFC, Oliveira, or Cowboy? Definitely Oliveira. I'm assuming you're talking about Charles Oliveira. Title holder, title defender, Charles Oliveira for sure. Just joined, probably not going to be able to for long, but I think Usman gets the win over Leon. Who's fighting for the title after Leon? The winner of Hamzat's next fight. So Hamzat or Burns will be fighting for the belt next. Thank you for joining, Niles. Appreciate you guys. Do not forget to like the stream. If you just joining, don't forget to run up the likes on the stream. Back to back is what he meant. Back to back pay-per-views. Yeah. Okay, I see. See, I'm behind in the chat from when I'm talking live. The women MMA in ONE FC is 1,000 times better than UFC. I'll have to look into that. Can you do a poll, Kai and Askarov? Sure. I don't know what that last few words are. Colby got dominated for the most part. I mean, not 100% of the fight. He had like a round or two. But I thought he lost like 4-1, I think is what my official thing was. Okay, 69% are picking Kamaru Usman. I guess you're saying do a poll for Kai Kara France versus Askar Askarov. Is that what you're saying? Colby got a draw. I disagree. For some reason, it's not letting me end this poll. So let me see if I can pull it up on a different screen now. Pull my live stream up. I disagree with you. I did not think he got a. I don't believe he got a draw. I don't think it was even close to a draw. But, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, of course. Okay, I finally ended the poll. Sure, Uso is New England slang, cuz. Okay, time to do a poll. Let's see if I can get this up. Who wins this flyweight fight? Kai Kara France, Askarov. I hope I spelled that right. I didn't check it. Guys, go vote in the poll. Usman got 68% of the vote before. Justin Gaethje versus Fiziev. That'd be a lot of fun. I'd actually probably go Fiziev. I'm a big believer in Rafael Fiziev. I'm a big believer. So Kai Kara France versus Askar Askarov. I think Askar Askarov probably takes him down and controls him on the ground. I would probably go Askar Askarov. But Kai Kara France has nasty power in his hands, and his striking is ever improving. And he's able to avoid submissions on the ground, and Askar Askarov's a little bit sloppy on the feet. So I love that matchup. But right now I probably lean Askar Askarov, and that's what the voters seem like, even though not. Guys, go vote in the poll. Who's going to win? Kai Kara France, Askar Askarov. Not enough information yet. So go and vote. Predictions for, I'm assuming Gaethje Fiziev. I'd probably go Fiziev. We'll do a poll for that one. Colby got his takedown. That's about it. Yeah, Big John's sort of awkward. His podcast with Josh is awkward too. It feels weird. The jokes aren't funny. The things they say aren't interesting either. Yeah, I find him incredibly awkward. But that's just one man's opinion. Who am I? I mean, he's got far more subscribers than I do. Far more people know him than me. So I'm just a guy giving his opinion. Somebody asked. 50-50 right now. 50-50. Somebody go break the tie here. In that third round, if they scored the takedown, he would have gotten that round with a 4-5. I don't the scoring of the takedown, as far as the stat, the judges don't have access to that information anyway. So whether they scored it as a takedown or not, the judges don't know that. They just saw what happened in real time, and in their minds, they have to determine whether or not they think that's a takedown. The live stats have nothing to do with the judging. They don't have striking accuracy, striking numbers, or takedowns or not. So I don't know. I got to go back and rewatch it to see what I scored, but I thought Usman clearly won. I feel Khamzat will be the type of fighter that only fights during the second half of the year. Every time he tries to get a fight in the beginning of the year, it never happens. Yeah, I wonder why that is. It's still a 50-50 tie. Someone go break the Kai Kara France Askar Askarov tie. There's 4 more people in here that have voted. I'm going with Kai because I haven't seen Askar fight, to be honest. When is that fight? Askar Askarov versus Kai Kara France. March 26th. I love that fight. I mean, that's the next title challenger for flyweight, I believe. Let's see. Exit out of that. Don't need that open anymore. Don't need that open. March 26th. And get rid of. There we go. Okay. 56%. Askar Askarov. Last chance to vote in the poll. And then we're going to do a Rafael Fiziev, Justin Gaethje poll. Because I'm curious. Am I crazy? Let's see. I want to see Khamzat more active though, man. I'm with you, Sean Johnson. It seems like he ain't going to get a fight. Hopefully he fights in April this year, and hopefully he fights the end of this year. I'd like to see him fight at least twice this year. I'm going with Colby's pretty overrated right now because of him having success against Usman on the feet. But we all know Usman has sloppy strikes. I can't read worth a shit tonight. We all know Usman has sloppy striking, so it's not that impressive in reality. Usman and Colby have some of the worst striking. They're awkward, but I still like watching them. Nope. Hey, no, you won't hear nothing from me, man. Again, it's just some people like certain things, some people don't, It's not like I think, it's so bad that it shouldn't be watched. It's just not for me. I've even watched a little bit of it. before. I kind of really started to avoid it after Conor lost to Dustin in the second fight in January of 2021, so a year ago. Because they went on there and they were Conor McGregor apologists. They were like, he has a family. Conor McGregor has a family. That's why he lost. And it was just, I mean, they were really just groveling to the Conor McGregor fans. And it kind of disgusted me. And I always thought they were a little bit awkward anyway. So I just completely stopped watching it. So unless the MMA media website shares it around for something interesting, I don't really pay attention to it. But if you like it, I know it is popular. I know it is rather popular, but that's just my personal opinion. No hate. The third round was razor close, and the takedown could have been the deciding factor. Okay. Joey, did you ever hear about bare knuckle guys not getting paid or something, or do not care enough about BKFC really just to change up the convo? I've never heard that, but I don't pay super close attention to bare knuckle FC. It's not something I really, even if I see the words like at a glance, I just scroll right by it. It just does not interest me. So maybe that's something I missed. I'll keep an eye out for it. Colby has no win over a ranked fighter. I made a video on the channel. I'm going to post it in the chat if you want to go check it out after this. I don't know if my links show up or not. But if not, French fries, I'm going to send you this link. And you can, actually, I'm going to send it to you, French fries, and see if you can post it in the chat. There is a video I did May 30th, 2021. The second month of my channel. French fries. Go post that in the thing, since apparently it doesn't let me. I did a video about how Colby Covington's resume was absolutely garbage, basically. How all of a sudden I lose 2 subscribers? What's going on, guys? Must have been some spammers who wanted to spam me but then changed their mind. But I did a video, Sanjay, on that topic back in May of this year, or last year. And I'd like you to go check out that video. It's called Colby Covington and Alexander Gustafsson Are the Same. It's the same card as Rakic and Blachowicz. Such a good fight night. 2 title contenders from 1 card. Agreed. I love that fight card now. Who do you think on the Moreno Figueroa, I don't know how you spell his name, trilogy? That's a tough one to pick. I honestly am dreading making my prediction video for it because something is just weird about Figueroa in that second fight. He just got dominated, but why would he want a trilogy if he really got outclassed that badly? The first fight was super close. So I've really been flopping it back and forth, but I'm thinking Moreno. How can you not pick Moreno after that dominant second win? But something just makes me wonder, was Figueroa not in the right shape, or did he have trouble with the weight cut, or what exactly happened there? It's super suspicious. I think Gaethje be a bit too much for Fiziev. I will do a poll on that in a second. It doesn't help Khamzat division where people squat on their rankings. Very true. Khamzat would fight every 3 months if he could, I feel. I mean, hey, that's right on track with Dana's 4 fights. Title shot in December. Would love it. Would love to see it. Yeah, he has a family. Yeah, he has a family. Do you guys remember seeing that? That's funny. That is funny. Yeah, maybe I talked about Conor and they left, but it looks like somebody came back. I don't know. I'm actually going to get rid of this sub thing. We don't need it anymore. I just thought I think it's interesting to throw into the streams here or there. Okay, let's do another poll. Let's do a couple polls. I like doing these polls to see what you guys think. Wasn't RDA top 10 pound for pound at some point? By the way, shout out to your name. That's hilarious. I hope you've been a subscriber for a while. I don't know if you have been or haven't been. Let's see. Cheyenne cheated on JP with Roman Delize. That's hilarious. Thank you for 4 months of membership, Darren Holmes. Appreciate you. You're always changing that name and keeping me on my toes, man. That's absolutely hilarious that you decided to use your message to convey that. LMA. I love how you did LMAO and top in all caps. But let me see something really quick. I hope. You know what? No, I'll copy and paste it. I'm gonna butcher the spelling of his name. 1 second. I'm doing another poll. Who wins? Rafael Fiziev, Justin Gaethje. Guys, go vote in the chat. He had the flu and a bad hard weight cut. Yeah, something that's just troubling me about that fight pick. Just something that's really troubling me about making that fight pick, and it's looming because I wanted to make it this week and kind of have it out of the way for early next week to drop it maybe Sunday, Monday. But like something's really paining me about making that pick. It just makes me feel fishy. I think the UFC is trying to milk money based on Khamzat, maybe. I mean, the guy debatably beat the GOAT of his era 5 rounds out of 10. Boom. There's his resume. He ragdolled the most of the division. Who are we talking about there? I'm confused. Khabib was fighting 2 or 3 times a year after his fame once a year. Yup. It's funny because we were just talking about that. Let's go, Darren. Fact check it. No, I saw it. I actually post that in the members only Discord earlier. I seen him posting it on Twitter. Because she said the MMA media made an article. She was in hiding. And he said, hiding from what? We know where you're at. You're at, Roman's house or some shit like that. The guy you cheated on me with, while we're still married or some shit like that. But do you think the UFC will ever do a men's strawweight division? Kara France would dominate there, I reckon. Men's strawweight division, 115. You think Kara France can make 115? I don't think they'll ever make a division, but maybe. Maybe it's possible. Kara France isn't a huge flyweight, so maybe he could cut that extra 10 pounds. I just got a hard time believing that he can cut that extra 10 pounds. It's a lot to get down to 115. But I don't think we'll ever have to worry about it because the UFC will never make it. Colby, he doesn't need a resume when he made the GOAT of his era fake an injury. Okay. He faked an eye poke though. I mean, he faked an eye poke when he got his jaw broke. So doesn't that kind of cancel each other out? Plus he ended up getting stopped. Literally faking eye pokes don't lie. He covered his right eye, then went to the left eye. Maybe so, but I mean, Colby did the same thing. So I think it cancels each other out. And either way, he ended up getting stopped at the end of the fight. But we'll just have to agree to disagree on that one. I don't think you should be elevated from 2 losses, and that's what seems like a lot of people want to do. Elevate him off a loss. And, I've talked about it on this channel quite a bit. I learned this lesson a long time ago. Guys will go out there and get 1 loss against a guy who we consider one of the best in the world and make it competitive. And just because they made it competitive against one of the best in the world, that all of a sudden now they're one of the best in the world. We've seen it happen to Gus. Gus, people were saying he didn't even deserve a title shot. He got a title shot against Jon Jones. We seen when he lost that fight and it was close and people thought it was a controversial decision. And then where did Gus go from there after losing that? It's one of those things that it happens quite a bit. We've seen it happen with Dominic Reyes, So, even I can't make 115 and I have eating conditions. Okay. Maybe so. Haha. Your eyes lie when you're biased. I get it. No. Okay. I don't know why we're saying even bringing up that kind of stuff. But if you think that's the truth, then that's the truth. I mean, at the end of the day, that you're going to believe what you're going to believe regardless. But regardless, I think that Colby lost both those fights. I believe he faked an eye poke as well. Even in the Kamaru Usman fake eye poke where he grabbed the wrong eye, he did get poked in one of his eyes, regardless if he ended up faking it. I don't think at any point Colby was going to come close to stopping him, even with that body shot that could have grazed the cup. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because the fight continued to play out and then he ended up getting stopped. So for me, it's irrelevant, and we keep elevating these guys off losses. And his best win, Colby's best win, in reality, is Tyron Woodley. That's his best win. That's facts. So Colby Covington, and also, don't get me wrong, I think go watch my prediction video for the Kamaru Usman fight. I think Colby Covington is a great fighter, but I think people elevate him too much off of losses. Let's look at Colby's resume. Let's bring this up. I'm glad you brought this topic up. Let's take a look at Colby's resume, really. So he lost to Kamaru Usman by decision in his last fight. I thought it was pretty clear cut, but some people disagree with me. He beat Tyron Woodley. It wasn't even super impressive, But again, he beat Woodley. But how well has that looked since then? Woodley was already on like a two fight losing streak at that point in time. He lost to Kamaru Usman where he got stopped. He has a win over Robbie Lawler. That's an okay win. Won by decision. Robbie Lawler's kind of up there in age. A win over Rafael dos Anjos, who really didn't belong at welterweight. But I think, I'll say Colby's best win is dos Anjos. I think that's a better win than Tyron Woodley. So I actually thought he was going to lose that dos Anjos fight, but he used his volume, stamina, and just pieced up dos Anjos. And then Damian Maia, and he even got cut up in that fight. So it's, for me, look at all these wins. There's nothing to really look at and say this was a great win. He has beaten nobody currently in the top 10. But again, that doesn't change the fact I still think he's a very good fighter. I think he can beat a lot of guys within the top 10, but it doesn't change the fact that his resume is garbage, and I believe people rate him higher than he should be just because of, the losses. We're talking about 2 losses to Kamaru Usman. I think Colby probably loses to Burns. I think the Leon fight is very competitive. I think Leon could beat him as well, but I think Colby has a chance in that one. I probably favor Colby to beat Vicente Luque, but that's a tough one to pick. I would probably be like 50-50, and I might change my mind on that one. I think Colby beats Jorge Masvidal. I think Colby clearly beats Wonderboy. I think Colby beats Neil Magny. I'm curious to see the fight against Sean Brady or Michael Chiesa, but that'll never happen. I think he loses to Khamzat Chimaev. So there's the entire top 11, my thoughts on Colby Covington. So it looks like 71%. 71% picked Justin Gaethje over Rafael Fiziev. Interesting fight. Do you care to see Covington versus Poirier? No, I think Covington beats him. I think Covington's too big, too strong, has too much volume. I think it'd be semi-interesting, but I think Covington beats Poirier. I really don't have a lot of interest in it because I feel like Poirier would be very slow at welterweight. Kelvin Gastelum has a competitive fight against Izzy, and now people think he's better than he is. Agreed, that's definitely the case. But for me personally, I actually am high on Gastelum still, but not because of the Izzy fight, if that makes sense. So I was high on Gastelum before the Izzy fight, and I'm still high on Gastelum. I still think he's one of the best in the world. But people do elevate him too highly off the Izzy loss. I think Gastelum loses to Whitaker, loses to Vettori. I think Gastelum can beat Cannonier. I thought he arguably won that decision. I think Gastelum can beat Brunson. I don't know how he fares against Paulo Costa. I think he beats Sean Strickland. He lost to Jack Hermanson, but I think he could beat Jack Hermanson in a rematch. So I still believe, I thought he beat Darren Till. I think he'll beat Uriah Hall. So I think he's still a top 5 guy. I think Gastelum is still a top 5 middleweight, but people are elevating him way too high because he had a competitive fight with Izzy for sure. We will see. He drags Dustin and Jorge. I think he beats both those guys. Do you watch rugby, Joey? Best sport in the world. The All Blacks dominate. What is that, a team? Is that a team? No, I have not seen. I'm familiar with rugby, but I've never watched it. How would Leon versus Colby go? Colby would try to back him up against the fence, land volume on him, and take him down. He would shoot takedowns after kind of, getting busy with the punches on the feet. Try to time a takedown against the fence, drag him down. But I think Leon might be able to stuff Colby's takedown and outstrike him. I think it'd be a very tactical fight by both guys. I don't know. I don't know who I would lean. That's a 50-50 fight for me. I could pick either guy, to be honest. Women's 105 is more intriguing than men's 115. Probably agree. No, it ain't. RDA was top 5 pound for pound, you clown. Who are we talking about as a clown, man? What's up with the name calling? There's no it's not necessary to sit here and call names. I don't know if you're talking about me or somebody else, but man, we don't need that. I mean, it's not like I'm offended by the word clown, but what's the point? Just because someone has a different opinion than you. Leon is the worst, though. He doesn't have the greatest wins either. But, at least I don't think people were elevating him off losses. At least he does have wins. He wins most of the rounds in his fights. Luque got wobbled by a worse T Wood. Okay. Okay. I'd favor Colby probably over Luque anyway. What's up, Torin Brown? Cerrone RDA after he lost to Colby, Gunnar Nelson, and Nate Diaz. There's Leon's legacy. I think Leon has a trash resume too. Just because I'm saying Colby has a trash resume doesn't mean I don't believe others have trash resumes. So we're just throwing shit all over the place. You could say, oh, Conor has a terrible resume. What does that have to do with these are just two different facts, or two different opinions, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. Just Colby having a shitty resume has nothing to do with Leon having a shitty resume. Both of them have shitty resumes. But we're talking about Colby at this point, and if you want to change the topic to Leon, we could talk about Leon's resume, which if you've watched any of my videos, I don't know if you have or not, I said that Leon, needs a top 5 win. But Colby Covington is elevated off of 2 losses to the champion. People act like he's so good because he has 2 losses to the champion and he has no real quality wins outside of those 2 losses. His best performances are in 2 losses. That is a fact that's irrefutable. That I think, you ask 100 people who watch MMA, they would say, what is Colby's best performances? And they would name both Usman's fights, and probably the first Usman fight would be the majority. Justin G would destroy Rafael. Why was that even a poll? I think that's an interesting matchup, and I don't necessarily think that's true. Colby would have gotten outstruck by T-Wood, but that's a sad part. He held him down and did nothing. Probably. I don't know. I think he was just worried about the power. I think Colby probably could have, I don't think T-Wood would have outstruck him. I think Colby would have had Woodley with his back against the fence, and he would have just been landing volume nonstop. But I think Colby took the route he did in the T-Wood fight because of the threat of the power from Woodley. I love Dustin P versus Vicente Luque. That'd be fun. I don't know if I want to see Dustin at welterweight, though. I don't know. I think he'd be slow there. Gastelum is the reason why middleweight division sucks. Gastelum is 170. I'm pretty sure he was up there. Nobody gave Colby a chance versus RDA. He was a heavy underdog in enemy territory, and that's not a good win year. 2020, it's X to say now. It's easy to say it now. I mean, I said I picked against him, so I don't know what you're getting at there. Awfully combative tonight. For a username like that, you're awfully combative, my friend. Torin, so he gets smashed. Dustin, don't beat many top welterweights. How would Charles Oliveira versus Colby Covington go? Either Colby finishes him in the late rounds, or Oliveira subs him and outstrikes him early, maybe even gets a TKO. Even I was wondering, Stipe doesn't have a win over any ranked guy apart from the champion Francis. That's crazy. We need to talk about Korean Zombie versus the champ. What do you want to talk about in reference to that? I mean, I liked the overall matchup, but I'd rather wait and see Giga Chikadze against Calvin Kattar, then make the decision on who fights for the belt next. Because if Giga gets out unscathed versus Calvin Kattar, I think Giga should get the next title shot. Wasn't Gastelum champ at one time? No, he was not. I'm going to bet on Zombie. I think Zombie has a chance. I think Zombie has a chance to win that fight. But I don't think it's highly likely. I think Volkanovski he's too well-rounded. He has too high of a fight IQ. There's just so many factors. And the fact that I think Korean Zombie was injured recently, so I don't know how much of a training camp he's getting for the fight. I think Korean Zombie has a chance, but I think he probably loses. I mean, look, Brian Ortega just got outstruck by Volk, and Ortega just systematically outstruck Korean Zombie. Not that MMA math always works, but sometimes you can make reasonable predictions based on the past. That's all I'm saying. No, Colby is overrated just like McGregor. Leon Edwards also. There's a lot of guys that are overrated, and when you say a guy's overrated, that doesn't necessarily mean they suck. Just because you say a guy is overrated doesn't mean they suck. You're saying, or at least I am in my particular circumstance, I'm saying the overall MMA community ranks their skills higher than they actually are. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't even mean you suck. It just means people think higher of you than they probably should. Did Colby fight Wonderboy? No, he didn't. He would definitely beat Wonderboy. See, Colby held him down and did nothing well. Biased. I mean, that's just my perspective of the fight. I haven't rewatched it recently, but he didn't do a lot. It wasn't a particularly exciting matchup. That's all we're trying to say here, man. Stop being so combative. Is Paddy Pimblett all hype? I think it's too early to tell. I think that's a possibility, but also he's so young, he can make vast improvements. He's still learning, he's still training. So I really don't have an answer on that. I don't think that anybody who's saying Paddy's the future necessarily is just taking a shot in the dark. But, you know, I think also anyone who's writing him off is also taking a shot in the dark. You know, look at Charles Oliveira. He's been around forever, and look at him making his climb to the belt finally. I mean, you could say Conor belongs at 145. I guess so. How does Max and Giga go? I don't know, man. That's an interesting fight. Hot take, I'll go Giga. Finally got Fight Pass. What should I watch? See if you can find Francisco Rivera versus John Lineker. That's an amazing fight. I see, but you can't since he hasn't fought in 6 years when he was dying to make weight. Common sense. Okay. Stipe beat DC when DC was a #1 champ and #1 again. Agreed. I picked Stipe in all 3 of those fights. I was right in 2 of them. RDA hasn't done shit at 170. What's your point in arguing Kelvin bad at 185 and he's ruining the division, but you're elevating Colby for beating RDA when he did nothing there? Okay, shots fired. I don't think TKZ will win, but I love him getting the shot. Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, TKZ, how can you not be a fan? How can you not be a fan of the Korean Zombie? The dude goes out there and puts on great performance after great performance. And I can't wait to see him fight regardless. Kevin was told by Dana that he could fight at 170. So it's the same thing with Conor. Okay, I missed something, so I don't even know what we're talking about here. Is Paddy a contender or is he all hype? Too early to tell, my friend. It's too early to tell. You know, he only has 1 fight within the UFC. You know, I know he got tagged, but it's 1 fight. It's 1 fight. So I think it's too early to tell. I don't know if he's a contender yet. You know, I think anybody that's telling you they definitely think he's a contender, or they're definitely thinking you know he's never going to do anything, I think they're just taking a shot in the dark. Who the hell does Tony Ferguson fight now? I seen today Chandler said he won't be able to fight until July or August. I know Ferguson doesn't want to wait that long. Tony might not anyone in 2022. Tony better fight somebody. Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz, headliner of UFC 272. That's what I want to see. What is going on, man? What is going on? How many times are you? I can't even go with this anymore. All right, guys. I'm gonna stay on here for a little bit longer. Any more questions you guys want to throw in here? I'll be doing the live stream Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So in 2 days. What weight class would you fall into cut to? Heavyweight, but I probably should be cut into light heavyweight. But I've never really thought of that too much. Well, let me ask one more poll question. Do you like Big John commentary / interviews? So, guys, I'm putting a poll out here. Do you like Big John McCarthy's? I didn't type McCarthy commentary and interviews. I'm curious. We were talking about that earlier. I want to see what you guys think. You casuals act. All right, dude. You know what? We don't need that. We don't need that. Goodbye. I'm just sick of this, man. Because you're literally being combative in the chat of something that I almost exactly said. It's too early to tell. But I guess you're talking to Torrin Brown in the chat. But either way, man, I can't stand when people say everyone's a casual. Everyone's a casual just because they have a difference of opinion. These boys out here too. I want to see Korean Zombie dude win the title. That would be crazy. Seems like it's 50-50 so far. A lot of votes on that one. People are very energetic on that one. Um, yeah, that's true. Tony can fight someone, but he's fights he's asked for never granted. Also, I think Chandler said he just needs 8 weeks. He wants the 8-week training camp, so that's not far off. That's not far off. He could still get a fight. He could still get a fight. Who's your favorite commentator all time? I didn't ban him. I just put him in a timeout. I don't like to ban anyone anyway, unless they say some really crazy, wild stuff. 6'2" ish, 6'3" ish. So it looks like 50. This is a lot of people wanted to vote on this. Do you like Big John McCarthy's commentary and interviews? 53% say yes. 47 say no. I know it's going to be hard as the channel grows, but I just want to have a civil discussion in the live stream. Is that too much to ask for, guys? Is it too much to ask for? To have a civil discussion within the live chat? I mean, come on. Come on now. Is that too much to ask for? I only put him in a timeout. He can type probably any minute now. I feel like I got the guy being got him fired up. He was fired up from the beginning. So 53% to 47%. I'm trying to think. What's another poll I can do in the stream? I'm curious what you guys think. Let's see. I'm trying to think of another poll. Big John feels like he's trying too hard. Like them more. The ref, yes. The moment you disagree with someone in MMA, you're casual some type of way. It's so annoying. Sometimes I find him flat. Yeah, I don't like hate him or anything. He's just not for me. He's just not for me at all. It's not something that I find incredibly pleasing to listen to or watch. Dude, is this guy not watching? Is this guy not watching the stream? Is he really asking the same question again? Bro, I can't even say your name, otherwise I tell you. Adulu. I answered the question 4 times for you, my friend. You know what? Matter of fact, let's give him a poll. Is Paddy Pimblett all hype? Again, I said it's too early to tell. But let's ask you guys. Does Dustin P ever make it to a title shot? Okay, I'll do that one next. I'll do at least one more before we go. Where's the poll at? There we go. Is Paddy Pimblett all hype? Go vote in the poll. I think it's too early to tell. He's so young. He only has one UFC fight. He could eventually become the best in the world. He could be nothing. I think it's anybody telling you confidently one way or another is crazy. Let's see. Did RDA have a single win at 170? I think he beat Kevin Lee at 170, but I can't remember for sure. He helped write a lot of MMA rules. I'm not sure if it was just Bellator or UFC. No, it's just the unified rules. So that has to do with MMA in general. That's not promotion specific. What little interviews I've heard sounds reasonable and level-headed. He was saying he didn't like the Kevin Lee, Diego Sanchez matchmaking, and I respected it. Yeah, I mean, stop it. Yeah, I'm not saying I think he's bad, or even that I disagree with him. It's just not for me, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you. But yeah, I'm glad to hear somebody else is calling out the terrible matchmaking in Eagle FC. If you guys haven't seen it, James Lynch also did a video similar to my Habib video, and I guess similar to what Big John McCarthy's saying. It's on his channel, James Lynch. If you guys want to go check him out, and he shouted out my video in his video, which is pretty cool. So, too early to tell. Should have been a choice. Very true. I should have done 3 choices. Can you do 3 choices? Let's try it again. I'm enjoying doing these polls. I saw James Lynch. He is a real one for sure. Maybe that's the next poll. Do you like James Lynch? Is Paddy Pimblett all hype? Let's add an option. Too early to tell. Yeah, I like James Lynch. He's got a similar style. He's level-headed. He's not super biased. Not super biased by any means. But just post another poll. Gave you an extra option this time. What was that link, French fries? It didn't work out. Yeah, see, to be honest, that's not something I know it sounds crazy. And I've told a lot of people, in the members only Discord, I really want to build my channel on my own for the most part. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy, that he shouted me out in the video, that he enjoyed my video. But for me, while I could probably go on other people's channels and stuff like that, and eventually this year I'm going to go on other people's channels if invited. But I don't ever want to feel like I built my channel off of somebody else. Even if it's just one video, 2 videos, whatever it may be. Luckily now I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have 2,000 subscribers. I'm much more, confident in what I built so far. But I don't ever want to see like an artificial inflation of my channel based off of something like that. But I didn't even ask him for that. He saw my video. He subscribes to the channel. He's been a subscriber, I think. He's been a subscriber to the channel, I think around 1,000 subscribers, a little bit before even. And he saw my Habib video and liked it. And that's why he took some of the comments from that video and refuted them, which I absolutely loved. Let's see what that is. I don't know what that is. Didn't work for me. But it's irrelevant. They're irrelevant. No, I don't care. I don't care. Hold on, let me see. All right, guys, throw some last minute questions in there. So it looks like the majority of you guys are now saying too early to tell. So you guys agree with me. I'm shaping your opinions. I think I'm going to comment next time for clout. What do you mean? I'm going to comment next time for clout. What do you mean by that? Explain yourself, Darren Holmes. Yeah, you guys can just start spamming other No, don't do that. Never mind. I was going to say you can just keep asking other channels. Have you seen MMA Joey's video on Habib Nurmagomedov or MMA Joey's video about this? I'm always curious, and I've talked about this in the members only Discord as well. I wonder how many other MMA channels have seen my channel. That's what I'm curious about. Like, I know James Lynch publicly subscribes. I've been part of his live streams before, like in the chat, and he does watch some of the videos. But I wonder what other MMA channels, maybe smaller, maybe bigger, whatever, have actually seen my videos before, Because it seems like the MMA community, it seems like everyone's watching everyone's stuff, it seems like. So I'm always curious. So, is Paddy Pimblett all hype? 45% say it's too early to tell. I guess we'll try one more question. Can Dustin... I already know the answer to this one for myself. Poirier. Can Dustin Poirier get back to the title? Let's ask that one. Doran Brown says, I think Paddy's all hype. MMA Guru's had to see you before. Maybe. I don't know. I know he hasn't been around for that long. At least that's what somebody was telling me. All right, well, I'm going to head out before school tomorrow. I'm about to head out myself, my friend. I'm staying on for 2 more minutes. I want to hit the 2-hour mark. If you guys haven't liked the stream yet, like the stream. Like the stream. If you haven't liked it yet. Hit Jesse on Fire on Twitter and get him as a guest on the show. See, I don't know. I don't know if I'm really going to be doing like stuff like that. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. It has to be the right person. It has to be the right person. Okay. Looks like so far 67% think Dustin Poirier can get back to a title. I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. I do not think he gets back to a title. But we will see. Only time will tell. So we went 2 hours for the live stream tonight. Guys, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing another live stream and probably nothing else until then. You can always find me spamming their offensive stuff, so rather don't see. That's funny, man. That's funny, man. A lot of people who watch this channel have told me they watch MMA Guru as well. They say I'm the American version. And I've seen a little bit of his videos, obviously, just searching around the web on YouTube, not websites, on YouTube, looking up different MMA content, see what people are doing. So I've seen him before, but I hadn't seen him until it's been months since I've seen him. But people were talking about him. Okay, someone's got to break the 50-50 tie here. The 50-50 tie before we can end this stream. Someone go break it. But that's funny. You're spamming their offensive stuff, so rather don't say. I like Dustin, but I don't think so. He's already said he may not make the lightweight cut again. I don't think he makes it. I don't think he makes a lightweight title run again. Charles Oliveira's too good for him. I think Gaethje probably beats him in a rematch. I think he loses to Islam. If Beneil gets a title, maybe. But we'll see. All right, somebody broke the 50% tie and said no. So 56% say no, 44% say yes. You should watch his bad commentary videos. He goes all in. Maybe I have to check that out. I'll see if I can find it. Well, guys, thank you all for joining me. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you guys on Wednesday.